A new hint for the Global Dokkan Celebration. But what could it mean? How's it, everybody? Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video here for you today. We have the next teaser for the upcoming Global Dokkan campaign, and it is nothing more than an image here of two auras seemingly flying across New York City on the Global Dokkan Twitter. On JP Twitter, they'd tweeted out a similar image, right, from a different perspective. So the question now is, what does this mean? I have a theory. We're going to lay it out here in this video. But of course, before we do, let's have a little fun. Comment down below before watching the rest of this video. What do you think these two auras represent? What is the theme that they're going for here? Let us know what you think it is in the comments down below, and we'll check back in at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. So the blue and the pink, that really threw me for a loop for a second, because immediately I thought Dragon Ball Daima. I think most people did. However, right, my thought was that these were two auras clashing together, and it didn't make sense when you consider that Goku nor Goma's aura are either one of these colors. Goku is more of a reddish aura, while Goma, it's more purple-ish. I mean, I guess the blue kind of works in this case, but the pink was just flat out didn't make sense. But as I thought more on it, and as I discussed with others, I think we've come to a good solution for what it is, and that it is actually the transformation sequence that we are viewing here for Goku from when he transforms from Super Saiyan 3 as in mini form to Super Saiyan 4 when Neva gives him the power up. This basically, I would say that this is a very, very likely scenario what this is meant to mean. So Dragon Ball Daima confirmed? I would assume so. However, there are a couple of other things that it can mean, and I did want to throw that out here in this video, right? Blue and pink, right? The immediate thought is Vegito Blue versus Rose. That is Global Dokkan's go-to thing when they want something hype. They've done it a few times before, and so I could definitely see something like this for Global Download Celebration, right? We did get mostly, we did get a Vegito and a Gogeta for 10th anniversary, right? We could get the blue versions for the GDC. Unlikely, but I mean, just throwing it out there that the blue and pink aura, while I think it is signifying of Goku's transformation during Daima, it could mean something else. Another thing I've seen people bring up is Battle of Gods, Goku versus Beerus. This one actually does kind of stand out because it might actually fit the theme. It might not be the whole theme, but it could be part of the theme. If you guys remember from the Countdown Celebration images, right, these all seem to deal with, right, heavenly events, events at Kami's tower, and power-ups given to Goku by gods. And you'll notice that the gods here are all in ascending order, starting from Korin to Kami to the supreme to King Kai to the Supreme Kai. The next step up from the Supreme Kai after, well, I guess Elder Kai, but he's still a Supreme Kai, right? The next step up from here is, of course, right, if they went one step further, would be Beerus, right? He's the next level after Supreme Kai. Well, we'll ignore the filler Grand Kais for now. So, I mean, that could kind of fit. I don't know if it fits the... obviously, I don't think that would fit the part 1, but it would definitely make sense for a, part 2, right? Sort of a continuation from Majin Buu Saga, which is what the countdown seems to indicate, right? So the first continuation, right? You take two branching paths. One path goes to Daima, the other path goes to Super. It could work. I don't know if that's the theme they're going for. We won't know for sure. But I definitely think it still fits within what we see here. At least more so, I think, than Vegito Blue and Rose, which is what some people were saying. But personally, I am on the boat of Daima. I think, given the colors here, given the similarities to the aura that's given when he transforms, and given the similarities to um, given the similarities Daima has with what we see in the countdown celebration, I think Daima is pretty much a lock-in for the part 1 of this celebration. Everything just makes too much sense at this point. I will say that I'm still not fully convinced Daima is the full celebration. I could definitely see Daima being the part 1, as I mentioned in the previous video, and GT being part of part 2, and this is mostly because of the way the first countdown image starts, specifically showing the dragon being summoned by Pilaf. That's really what turns it has me believe in that. Secondly, right, it's mostly thinking about Goma himself, because here's the real deal, guys. If this is a full Daima celebration, Goma is screwed. I mean, there's no two ways around it, right? When we look at his categories, right, there are all these different categories, and there's only so many different villains they can fit on. And Daima has no other villains. There's no other bad guys. You could maybe consider the Tamagumis, but if we actually come over here, right, we'll just use one of the Tamagumis as an example here, from one of the previous ones. Let's see. I think it's, here we go. Right, so if we just like look at Tamagami number 3, for example, right, they're not even sharing any categories with Goma, right? So unless they want to do like the fake Ginyu Force guys, this is gonna be a tough sell. I mean, I guess maybe you could justify them being on demonic power. You could add the category if they do like a triple under orders from Neva, that you could probably justify it, but realistically, I don't even think that works with a full Diamond celebration, which means he's going to be reliant on outside celebrations to fill his team, which is not necessarily bad, but when we look at what's available, right, the categories he has, Successor's the big new category. I could definitely see him being on that, or leading that if he is a Dokkan Fest, but I mean, what has he got, right? A possibility of an Easy A Demon King Piccolo. He's got the new AGL Full Power Frieza, which isn't bad. They will share probably big bad bosses, at least, and I don't know if he would have Thirst for Conquest. He might, but he might share a couple of links. But then, you know, when we start getting into TURs, right, there's no extreme TURs, even recent Easy Aid ones that would work with him, and there's no recent LRs that would work on his team, unless you're going to be running like a mix of super, right? If this guy possibly Easy A's this year, then maybe you could justify it, right? Dragon Ball Seekers, same issue, right? I mean, you could probably run the Taos on his team, but I mean, as we've seen with Tao, mixing up his team, right, you kind of want him doing his own thing rather than bringing other people into the mix. It kind of messes with his flow. So that's kind of a tough one. Again, you still have Demon King Piccolo. I honestly, I'm almost certain this dude is Easy A in this celebration, considering they didn't Easy A him during the 10th anniversary. So I guess you could throw Glorio on there, although he's not extreme. He would still work. Slug, getting the new equips would probably work on that. Terrifying Conquerors, which he's on, not a whole lot to work with. Pretty much the same categories, right? The Friezas, Grade 8 Vegeta. Possibility of the Coolers, I'm not convinced these guys are going to Easy A. I know a lot of people seem to think they are. I'm not convinced they will, but I mean, if they do, that helps. Final Trump card, you have the new Tien, which I guess as long as you can bring Tao and Tien, they could be a rotation, but that doesn't help him specifically in terms of partners, right? No matter what they go with, like, dude is absent a partner. His links are going to be closer to, given that he is a demon, he uses magic, his links are probably going to be closer to someone like right? The LR Bobbity here, or the Bobbity and Deborah, right? We're going to be seeing things closer to like Thirst. Well, okay, so he might get Thirst for Conquest, which should help with the freezes. But I imagine we're going to be seeing things like Brutal Beatdown, Master of Magic, maybe not Monster Resurrection Plan, but possible, and Nightmare, right? We're gonna, definitely, I would see these three being part of his link set, which means that, you know, he's gonna have a hard time linking with a lot of other villains. I mean, at least with like Frieza. If we come over to Frieza here real quick, where did he go? Right, if we come over to Frieza, right, which is kind of like going to be the strongest villain on his team currently. Might have big bad bosses. Okay, they do share Nightmare, if they get it. And he's not gonna have Prodigy, strongest clan in space. So Nightmare, big bad bosses, fierce battle. So 3 links. Combine that with like a banner unit. Right, if he gets like a banner, well, he probably wouldn't have big bad bosses either, and I doubt he's gonna be a. I doubt he's going to be a Big Bad Boss's character or a Slot 1 character. So, yeah, this is going to be tough. Whoever his banner unit ends up being, probably not going to help him out on the extreme side of things. So that is my issue with going full Daima. Goma is going to be basically reliant on Celebrations outside and them to really hit home the easy A's in terms of extreme units, which there aren't many. And I'll break that down a little bit more in a separate video. But we'll see. But I will definitely say, at the very least, this confirms Dragon Ball Daima for part 1. I can't really see anything else this could be. That would make sense given the context of the other countdown images. So, guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, do you think that this means Daima? How does it compare to what you thought at the beginning? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.